Capricorn, this is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. It is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. I will incorporate all of the astrology for this week into this reading. And Capricorn, we're going to start out with wherever the cards fall, but we will review what has led you to this situation in present, what is happening, and project out into what you can expect the outcome to be in the future. And for those of you who want an even deeper reading, there is an extended reading to every single one of these readings. So if you're interested in joining me, please look below, and there is a link in the top of the description box, as well as I pin it to the top of the comment section. Capricorn, this is a pretty peaceful week for you in terms of the astrology. Things are, I think, closing up. Why do I say that? You have a beautiful trine to the conjunction between Venus and the Sun for the first day of this week, and then it goes into a trine with Mercury, which means you will be listened to because you'll be able to talk and articulate and think very logically and very clearly, and be able to communicate those things that you need to get done in a very effective and productive way. I can't imagine that this won't help you out in terms of how you feel about your life. And because you are who you are and you have that bright spirit of get it done, you also now have that mercurial support of being able to figure things out quickly, and your mind being really, really precise. And your communication being right on point as well. So really, really productive week, which for you, for some people, it may be blah, but for you, that makes you feel good. So there's an uptick to how well you perceive yourself this week, as well as a lot of beautiful communications with your significant other. Mercury is in Libra. So this trine between Saturn and Mercury is really going to help your communications and how you, well, help you to effectively communicate with your spouse or your significant other. And then by the end of the week, it's really just back to Saturn squaring the nodes, which it has been this entire year. So it's nothing new that you wouldn't understand how to deal with. And that really just means that you've been going through a lot of changes and transitions to your personal self and how you interact with the world, your expectations, your standards, not to lower them, actually to lift them up, but change them as well and see things from different perspectives. And I think that you've been going through that all year, so at least you'll have that week of productivity. Yes. A rebirth is assured. Don't worry, Capricorn. Whatever has been plaguing you, troubling you, making you feel dissatisfied with your life, your relationship, your job, your situation, you're about to come back. That song that I love so much from the 90s, Return of the Mac. You have gone through the ringer. People have betrayed you. You have felt hurt. There have been issues that have really taken their toll on you. This is your comeback. It's that feeling you get after you've been sick for so long, and you can finally, and I'm not saying you've been sick, but follow the metaphor. It's that feeling you get after you've been sick for a long time, the flu or whatever. It takes a lot out of you, and you can finally step outside. You still feel a little weary. You still feel a little weak. You're blinking back from the sun, but doesn't it feel so good? And you can actually feel your strength returning, is I guess what I'm really trying to say. So that's what's happening to you. Right now, current, present time, you're going to start to feel your strength coming back to you, as well as believe in yourself more. So you're feeling your strength coming back into your sense of self-confidence and capabilities. This is also a comeback when it comes to work opportunities, because it's like you can start planting the seeds. You're busy at work. This is fruitful work. It's progressive work. You're starting to see that, oh my God, you're starting to feel the progress that's coming back into your life. And there are also opportunities that are coming back into your life. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you have just started to open up or start getting back to work on something that matters to you, and you're now finally starting to see the progress in it, or you are starting to like literally get back to work. Job offers are coming in, or there's productivity on whatever you have been working on. You are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. You are finally feeling like you can spread your wings. You don't have to worry so much or be afraid. In fact, I feel this tremendous fear of, you know, almost preparing for the worst, and now you're going to start to realize the worst isn't coming. We have a little bit of the past that's just come out. And if no cards fall out into the future, I will call out to Spirit to ask. There's always enough. This is Pisces energy. You are dealing with a Pisces, or you are dealing with a lot of emotions. You're dealing with a lot of feelings. This is a very emotional situation. Because it's upright, it means that there's no deception and there's no being overwhelmed by the emotions, but the significance is clear because there are just emotions there. There's you care about the situation a great deal, or you are greatly cared for. This is also maybe very creative. So your creativity is free-flowing. And what a great time for your creativity to be free-flowing, because you will be able to translate that into logic and pragmatism and be able to communicate it so effectively because of that trine between Saturn and Mercury right now. So there is always enough. You have so much that's coming up in your mind. I think you're also very busy working on a specific project. It's drawing on your creativity. So I'm going to ask you, be creative, be more creative, allow yourself to go further outside the box. If you're feeling really confined and almost claustrophobic, it's because you're making yourself that way. It's time for you to sort of spread your creative wings and not do things that maybe you'd already decided upon. Allow yourself to, I'm not saying change plans, I'm saying allow yourself to think about what else could happen or what other options are out there. Not to confuse yourself some more, but I just think that you need some freedom right now, at least some creative freedom. There is always enough that you guys just have an abundance of resources, and you have an abundance of love, and you care. You either, like I said, you're cared about and you care. So this is something that's very important to you, especially if it is work or a job that is coming to you. This is concerning because in the past it implies there was a deceptive individual in your life, or you were being deceived within a situation. So Fox upright is a wonderful, very powerful and progressive energy, but I think in reverse it's very deceptive. This is maybe something that held you back, or lies that you were telling yourself that held you back, right? Fox upright is progress, not perfection. Fox in reverse is perfection and no progress. You know, you're like, there's some sort of deceptive either mentality that you've adopted that says, well, it has to be this way, and if it's not this way, I'm stuck, right? And that's why you were stuck. But I think, and when I see this card, it's always a deceptive nature, or being stagnated, not thinking or seeing differently than you, or perspectives outside of yours, kind of being stuck in one mindset or being stuck in one place. This is in the past. Think on your feet. You didn't want to improvise. You were always maybe trying to plan ahead, schedule things. Definitely something that just sort of toppled over because you could not make things work or come together. I think either you're going to be hearing from that person or that situation, or it has uprighted itself so that now the opportunities are coming back to you because there is enough room, or there is enough space. I just actually got this message, this channeled message that came through. If somebody had been very manipulative, they're gone now, and the doors want to open back up for you. That's a very specific message for somebody, but it needed to come out. Capricorn. Take time out. Okay. I think you feel somehow a slave to your emotions right now. Or this sense of feeling like you're not being protected, like somebody is like putting their emotions all over you. Like you can't escape it. You can't escape. I don't know why you would want to, but that is a personal perspective. Slow and steady wins the race is what roots are reading. This is emotional stability. This is planting roots or planting seeds to help confront overwhelming emotions or somebody's overwhelming emotions that they're sort of flooding you with. Take time out, bear energy. It almost feels like you feel like there's no defense. There's no boundaries. And with Pisces energy, there aren't any boundaries. And I think that that's what you're starting to implement. You or somebody in your life is working on that. That's why what really roots this reading is turtle spirit, because turtle is about learning how to separate myself from the water, right? It has its shell, not to hide, but to define. Where do I end and where does the water begin? What this is telling me, Capricorn, is that you are dealing with somebody, could be the same person who in the past was very manipulative. What this is saying is you now have clarity. They cannot manipulate you anymore. You can see very clearly who they are, what is making them do this, why they want to do this, and it becomes very clear to you. You are now learning how to handle the situation and adjust to whatever they are or however they are. So you have kind of been able to put up some walls and establish some boundaries with something that was out of control. It was just, it felt sloppy. But this is saying now you're okay at your own pace. You also have a different perspective of what winning means. Winning for you is a realization of, I just love to enjoy the journey. I don't think you did in the past. It was, where are we going? How do we get there? And you missed the journey. The secret that this week reveals to you is enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process. You have already won just because you're in the game, right? Think of the tortoise and the hare. That story teaches us basically what positive thinking really does, because the tortoise won as soon as he entered the race, because he never cared about beating anybody else. He cared about being in the race and finishing it. And that's all he was thinking about. And everything that he did decided that he was going to finish that race and participate, and that's it. It was so uncomplicated. It wasn't show somebody else up or prove something. So he had won as soon as he started the race. It had nothing to do with beating anybody else. He wasn't sitting there. You never see the tortoise mention the hare. You only see the hare mention the tortoise. The hare was obsessed with tortoise and how tortoise did things, and how much comparing himself to tortoise all the time to make himself feel better. So there's just this sense of realizing who you're dealing with, realizing that that craziness is not for you, and realizing that you have to go your own pace and take your own time and establish boundaries as you go. And I think that you have really been able to do that. This person is not so scary as they try to come off as. They're more out of control of themselves, which could be scary in and of itself. But this situation is really, in other words, if somebody can't set their own boundaries, you do it for them. And that's what you're working on right now. There's also a sense of going about a situation from a different perspective. And it feels like this is a situation that has come back to you. A rebirth is assured insinuates that there is something that has come back to you, an opportunity, a job offer, a position, a relationship, whatever it is. It has come back to you. The seeds have already been planted, but now you know so much better what you are in for. And what I like about it is that the opportunity is back, but you're different. You're going to handle this situation in such a different way. All right, now I want to understand a little bit about what's coming, how this energy works out. Can you give me some future, or what's going to come out? Now, something else is going to come out regarding this foxy energy. Freedom is yours. Freedom is yours from the manipulation. Freedom is yours from being stuck. You're stepping outside of your comfort zone at this point. And if there is a feeling of discomfort, in some ways you're relating that now to progress, which is what it is, as opposed to something to be scared of. So even though you may not be fully comfortable with it, at the same time, you are more comfortable than you have been because you know what it means, you know where it's taking you. Also, getting out of the clutches of somebody who was very manipulative and deceptive and reestablishing your life. And I am happy to tell you that in this week there are opportunities that are coming back. Perhaps you lost these opportunities because you were around or in connection to a very deceptive energy or a very stuck mindset, whether it was yours or belonged to somebody else. The importance is that you've broken free, and so now you will get a second chance at opportunities or similar opportunities. How is the moon? So interesting that the moon, which often deals with history, water signs rule the past. They rule history. They are the collectors of what has been. So it's interesting that the moon cards were what came out in the future. Surrender to the divine, giving up and relinquishing control. This also talks about the full moon. Now the full moon is, at the end of this week, we have a new moon, which means that the full moon is 3 weeks away. But what this is telling me is this is about 3 weeks out. This is about 3 weeks out. That all of this will be coming, or expect this in about 3 weeks' time. A personal issue reaches resolution, which means that all the crap that's going on in your family, there's healing here. There's harmony back in the home. And then we have the energy is gaining momentum, which means that somebody is okay with you. Somebody is okay with a decision that you've made. People are getting behind you, or you are working on something with family, and that is becoming more aggressive. Don't let your past hold you back. Forget about what you decided in the past. Forget about where you were stuck in the past. Also forget about who you were stuck with in the past. This is a sense of really allowing yourself freedom from that place you came from. You're no longer there. And now that I'm looking at this, so you have your fourth house, which is where we all come from. We come from the fourth house. You are not what your parents made you. You now are what you have created. And your life is very different and is taking you very far from where they started you. And ultimately, there is just that sense of realizing that it's almost like you've put an end to or finished that kind of obligation you have to your parents, just being born or being a kid. A new start is coming, new moon. So you have started a whole new cycle. Something absolutely brand new is about to begin. And like I said, it's interesting that the full moon comes out and then the new moon comes out, which means for me, this is a month and a half out. This is not the new moon that's coming. The new moon that's coming right now is like a restart. It means that you're understanding that you have to push the button and restart everything in your life, or that by that new moon, because I've been saying it's a reset and it is an eclipse, so there is going to be major changes, but it's a refreshed new change. So it's almost like it's like you'll find yourself again, you'll find your partner again, you'll find why it matters to start over and just clear things out and get rid of the crap and be able to begin again. But this is coming at the next new moon, which is about 5 weeks away. So a new start is coming. Don't let your past hold you back. The energy is gaining momentum because a personal issue has reached a solution, and all of this is coming from surrendering to the divine. There is going to be something on that full moon in Scorpio on November 8th, which is also a full moon eclipse. It's a total eclipse. If you're interested, you'll be able to see that full moon eclipse early in the morning in the United States. If you're in the US, that's the only thing I know the times for, so I apologize, because I know you guys bless me with viewership from all around the world, so I don't know, but I do know that the time zones from the US go from 6 to 3 a.m. in the morning. And so early in the morning, because it's fall, you should be able to see it if you get up, and it's a full moon eclipse, so it's a blood moon, so it'll be bright red because the moon will be like the shadow of the earth will be cast on the moon, which colors it that red. And oh no, it's a new moon, so you won't be able to see it anyway. Screw it, stay in bed. Oh no, I'm mixing things up. I apologize. I am talking about the full moon. The full moon will be a full moon eclipse. This is on November 8th, early in the morning. So we're talking about the future here. Now, talking about the future here, it's almost like that's when we finally be able to let something go, or for a family matter to really be done. If this is a drawing to a close, a conclusion of your relationship with somebody, or a passing of a person, it will not be horribly surprising, and there will be a peace about it. There will be a fulfillment of it. Could be your relationship with your mother figure as well, finally being able to let that go and realize, stop listening to what she told you, because what she told you was based on her limitations, not on yours. Now I want to go deep into this energy, and we're going to do that in the extended. I love you guys. The extended link is down below. You can also subscribe to the extended, and I hope that you do. Both of those links are below, and I'll see you guys there.